My name is Natalie Duguid, and I am a MarTech trainer for the company, basically just meaning I am a tools expert. I'm here to help. And so for today's Wednesday webinar, part 2 of the day, we're really focusing on editing your campaign emails and just showing you what you're able to do with all of these to personalize. It's not for everyone. Some people will be fine with how the email is set up, and that's fine. But we just want to show you all what you are able to do with an email. So when I'm under the campaigns tab here, you'll default to this screen, which will show your active campaigns, but we're focusing on the My Emails tab right here. And so just as you scroll down, it's going to show you basically every email that you've imported from the brokerage's library, basically by campaign. And then down here,
Natalie, you just somehow got muted.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, I just saw, muted. Okay, so you can see right down here that it says synced. And so that's what's synced to the company. And so for a lot of the emails that the company just goes through, like the seasonal ones, the holiday ones, you want to, keep that synced up with the company for, new and fresh content. But for other ones, like, your buyer 6-month follow-up, you might want to personalize that to be, what the information you want with that. And so you can just see down here whether you've edited it or not. I've edited this one. Also, you will note that some of them, like the seasonal one I was talking about, is not editable because that needs to be synced to the company's email so that those keep going out. So we will simply come over here and we will click edit. And it will bring us to this screen where I can even edit the name if I wanted. I can add, personalized. And then I can edit setup of the email. I can change the subject and I can change the preview text in the email that they are receiving. And of course, you always want to have the signature in there, your signature. So that's an important feature, and I'll actually go over how to make sure that you have your signature set up at the end. But basically, this part is pretty simple. If you want a different subject for this email, put it here. If you want a preview text, put it here, but you don't have to put it here. Building the email is really what we're going to dive into. So here you can see to the left, this is the computer view versus the mobile view. So just if you kind of want to see that, that is available because a lot of people, probably you included, check out your email on your phone. And then this is basically just a little text box right here with basically the company email. You can write whatever you want to put in here, just do not change what's in the parentheses because that's going to be auto grabbing. So for instance, your signature down here will automatically grab and get put in here. Saying hello, it's going to automatically grab the people's first name that you're sending it to. So it is a personalized note. And it's not just a generic, hey there, to people. It will say, hey there, if you don't have a person's first name. But basically, any of this is not in parentheses, and you can edit it to say what you like right here. Always at the bottom, you can note that there is an unsubscribe option. Anything that the company sends out will have this unsubscribe option. But what I really want to get into is the editing. So if I click in here to change things, I can see it has my typical font options. It has my typical size options, my bold, italicize, underline, color options all here. And so this is, you know, pretty much if you work in publisher, I mean, even writing emails and stuff, this is your pretty generic text edit options right here. You can have bullet points. You can change alignment right here as well. And it also even gives you some heading suggestions. If you're not sure, you know, sizing or whatnot, I can change that here. And then we have our link option. So of course, just under style, you can change and add some links here, which again, if I wanted to say, you know, everyone subscribe to our Howard Hanna Education YouTube channel, I can come in here and say, check out my YouTube channel. And simply come down here to this link and just add that in. And so that's just what you can do generically in here with the text that's already been provided. So there's a lot you can do with that if you choose not to play deeper into this.
So one of the links, some of the links you might want to add here would be the Real Scout link, neighborhood news link, the home valuation link from Buy Side. So those would be all really valuable links in these emails. And you may not want to send all three. So pick one that's most relevant to that email.
And of course, you're also your testimonial link, which this whole email is about. But you know, always feel free to put, you know, check out my reviews or, you know, leave me a review, just because of how important reviews are nowadays. People review absolutely everything. So that's just what you can do with this default text right here. If we come over here and we click content, there are a few options. So I'm gonna just grab this text. So you just grab it and you drag it over. And again, you're waiting. You see how this lit up yellow? And then I can see that green line is gonna show me, do I wanna put it above or do I wanna put it below? I click in here, I can say, here is a great recipe to share. I mean, really whatever you want. And that's just the generic text box right down here.
Natalie, Nita has a question.
Mm-hmm.
After you change the content of an email in a campaign, is it changed forever? Meaning the next time you use the campaign, your changes will still be in place?
Yes. This is the email that goes in the campaign. So for all campaigns, or, you know, for that campaign getting used in the future, it's going to be this email. So if maybe this recipe is just blending into my signature at the end and I want it to stand out a little bit, I can grab this divider over here. And again, watch where that green goes. And I can kind of just make it a little bit stand out a little bit more. Again, just up at the top here, style will be what you can do with that particular box, and content is where we can grab the new boxes that we want to bring over. So we have the divider. We just have a spacer to kind of give it more space to stand out. We went over text. There's also a text section. So if I grab that over, this basically just sets you up with kind of a title and then words to say underneath. So it's just kind of easier for you if you don't just want a blank text box to just drag this over and then just write what you want. And give it a title. Right
You
here.
could lose a whole day playing with this stuff.
And so that's kind of just some of the text and spacing aspects of it. One of the important ones that people are using a lot is the group social. So if I grab this and I drag this over under my signature, that's going to automatically pop up my social elements. So if I click on it, right down here, it will allow me to put that URL in order for people to click this button and send them to my Facebook. Again, to grab a URL, you're going up at the top, you're clicking in, then you're right clicking and just copying it, and then you're going to just paste it right in here. You can change the icon if you don't have Facebook. They give you your icons available. If you have some kind of social media that's not in here yet, that this is really all that is available for you right now in these little social media buttons.
But if there's something you use, again, go to that suggestion box on the GoHanna page and ask them to add that to social media. And if there's enough requests, then that's something they would likely add.
Yes, they definitely look at the suggestions. We've had so many suggestions come through just to help these tools fit you guys better. If they're, say I only have 2, I can click on this and then right up here, there's a little trash can and just delete that here. And again, if I have maybe 4, now that I've added the group social in, I can just keep putting these in. And then when I click on them, I can change the icon and change the URL right here to be what I want. It is important to note the social element can only go into that group social tab. So you see it's not, I can't pull it into any of these. So start with the group social and then you can delete or you can add any of these.
Natalie, we have a question. So I think it's actually a question that's just going to need clarification. It says, how do you go back, do the backside of a postcard, not seeing an option for page 2? So do you want to clarify what this actually is?
Yeah, so this is just an email that we're creating for the email campaigns in Engage CRM. So it's just, you're just scrolling down on this. There's no flipping over 2 parts.
So postcards are going to be in your marketing store. This is all email campaigns.
All right, so the 2 options that we have up here left are images. So I can add an image here. I just dragged it over and then it just tells you right here, double click to insert an image. I double click, I can just upload it from my computer. Right here. There we go. Or I can just click one right here, or I can even just drag it on over if I have it open on my computer. If I have it open over here, I could just, if one of these was an image, I can just drag that in. I have one on my
By the way, right now through marketing, we have a tremendous body of great pictures that they've created for us. And you can go to your GoHanna search bar and just type in like the word home is. And there's like 12 beautiful postcards on what home is. So you should look around for some of our content, and they enhance videos, or they enhance emails that come out, has a ton of content and takes you right to it. There's some things that would be beautiful additions to your emails that you could be changing all the time.
And yes, I will be going over that button. But yeah, so that's just adding an image right here. You can even have this connect to a URL. If you are, maybe really involved in some other website and you want to, tell them a little bit about it and say to click there, and you don't just want to do, write it out and say click here, you want to do a picture of it, you could, maybe have marketing, make a nice little picture for you, insert it here, and then, so I clicked on the picture, I went to style, and down at the bottom, I can add the URL right there for that.
Natalie, Julia's asking, will you go over the button that says listings under content?
Yeah, I said I was getting there.
Okay.
So then there's also just a button feature. So there's lots of ways that you can link other things in this, in these emails. And again, the images, you don't have to have that link to anything. It can just be, a pretty image to, get moved up top. And again, if you mess up the order, that brings you up. And then this, you can just drag it up for that if you want it to be at the top of the page. Anyways, but here is our button. If I click into this, again, it's going to open up style. And again, if you go all the way down to the end, that's where you can do the URL. A lot of people get lost in where to put that URL. That's where you can do it for that. And then really, font size, if I want to make this bigger. There we go. I can make it bigger there. I can italicize it if I want. I can make it, ultra bold here. So you can play around with that a little bit up at the top. And then with the color, this is a little bit more in depth and a little trickier. This makes no sense to most people. So I'm going to open up Publisher just to kind of show you how they're getting the color. So color, and then I'm going to make this really big because nobody can see that. There we go. Okay. So if I go over this and I go into the colors and I click more colors, I go over to custom, and then you're going to see what's called hex. And hex basically is this hashtag and then 6 numbers after. So if I want this button to be bright blue, I kind of pick where I want it to go. I move this up or down depending on light or dark. This hex number changes. And so I can then just grab this, copy it, and then just put it in.
You can also Google hex codes, and you can do it under categories like oranges and just get all the hex codes and see them all on a page. So they're fun. And we do have some branded ones.
Yep, we definitely do have the Howard Hanna colors branded. So then that's kind of just explaining what this code is. If you then come over here and you click on this, so you can see this is the color that I just put in. This one's kind of hard because it blends right in. It's a gray. But if you click over here, I can then move this around to where I want to go. And I can gradiate it if I want. And there you go. So I go down to blue, which is hard to see, so maybe I want yellow. I do have those branded hex codes I can get you if we need to at the end. So here is our button. Here's how we change the colors.
I added them to the chat, Natalie.
Ah, perfect. And then that's where you put the URL down here. And so that's basically the buttons that you can put for what you want if you have something that isn't a social media element already for you. Any questions on the standard ones before we go into the hybrid? Okay. So down here we have the row hybrids, where basically they kind of just came up with some ideas for you. So for instance, adding a listing in. Ooh. So if I drag that over, it's gonna ask me for the MLS number. So I'm just going to 31220. Oops. Okay, there we go. Oh, I did not get that correctly. Oh, 31220. That's why. I wasn't even close. 31220. So you put in the MLS code for your listing, and it's gonna just pop up right here. It will give you the option to link it to the agent website or the brokerage website. I would assume most of you are going to want it to go to your agent website. So that is why that is the default. And so basically you would just click that and do done. And then at the bottom of your email, you have this listing that they can click on and open up and find more about your listing on that right there. So basically they made it super easy just to add your listing into any of the emails you're sending out. If you go to content, you grab listing, you drag it over, you put in the MLS number, and it's right here for you. So this is probably the most popular thing that people are doing with that right there. Then we just have this other one, which is called Hero. I'm not sure why it's called Hero, but this is basically just a combo right here where it's an image with a title and a button. So when we go down, I just have to find where it says image. Here we go. This is a little trickier, but basically background URL is actually called images. So you would click on that and I could, add this image again. Double click it to pop up. With the button, if I double click into that, it's going to give me again these button options where I can go down, I can add the URL to what I want, and I can just write in here, check this out, and that's how I do my button. And then this is just your typical title right up here. So the white isn't clear, so I'm going to do red instead. Well, that was the background. There we go. And so again, this is just basically a row hybrid where they already kind of make something for you guys. If you have a picture in your mind where you're like, I just want a background and then a button to say click here, you can do that right here, all put together for you. If you just want the button, I could delete that title and just have that there for that. And it just basically puts the button over the image, whereas before you would do the image and then maybe the button underneath. So that basically is all the content right here. The content are the sections. Style is when you're clicked into a section, just the options that you have to do with it. And then rows basically changes the rows. So if I wanted 3 different, columns here, I can then go to content and I can maybe, put in 2 buttons and then my group social. That's basically just what rows is. It kind of gives you that option to have multiple things on one field.
Natalie, I want to make sure we have just a minute for you to spend going back to campaigns and showing them how to edit the dates and that sort of thing in the actual campaigns.
Okay. So that is basically editing an email. We would just continue and then I could just save this.
So like everything else, play with it, send yourself something so you can see how it works. It's, but you could lose a whole day playing with it because once you get started, it's lots of fun.
Yep, and right up here, you can send that test email. So I can just send that to myself right there, and it will pop up. Okay, so that is basically, you know, editing the emails. If I want to edit a campaign date, I would just click the edit option over here. And so here are the days after it starts. So maybe I think, you know, minor home repair should be first. Oh, I need to take my numbers lock off. I can change this to 6. I can add emails down here. And then if I do next preview, you can see that my minor home repairs has jumped up on that list and is now before this whole section.
And on scheduled emails, you can edit the actual calendar date, or you can hit the trash can and say, I don't want that one to go out. And then Natalie, can you tell them what happens when you do that to an email train like that? So if you've got a chain.
Yeah, so the Hannah Holiday one, so you can see that all of these right now are synced, which means I haven't touched anything with them, and the company is basically just, you know, pumping out this material. It's showing me what, you know, was successfully sent. So here's the dates. Again, you know, most of the scheduled ones that are date specific, you're not really going to want to change because it's on a specific holiday. But say maybe I didn't, you know, want the first day of spring because I don't like spring.
Not true of a northerner.
Love spring. I can just exit out of that and keep going right there. And it's not going to show up. If I click save, in a second, when it loads. And then I can just go back to my campaigns to show you. It is now no longer synced with what the company is taking charge of because you went in and customized it. And so the reason this is because if you go in and you customize a campaign, if the company makes a change, it doesn't want to just completely override everything that you customized. So I can still go in and re-add the Hannah Holiday campaign, No Kids, from the company, and it will be synced. But this one right here is one that I've personalized and is now disconnected from when the company does updates.
Natalie, can you rename that? Could you say holiday campaign, no kids, personal, or mine, or something like that, so you don't end up loading another one and having the same name? So right there, can you do your title?
Yep.
Okay.
Good question.
You could have done that in the beginning when you saved it as well, correct?
Yes, up here.
Yeah, okay.
So that, and we'll just wait for that to come through. And now it says personalized. Now it says edit right here, depending on where you.
So then if you bring the other one to the library, you know which one is the one you've made changes to and which one you haven't.
Yep, so then give it a second. So add to campaigns right here. It will say, you know, copy to. I do not believe if you just change the title that it will unsync it, but let's test it. We will see.
So if it's synced, it gets sent out to all your people then automatically?
Either way, it gets sent out to your people. If it's synced just for, the seasonal one is a great example. There's, 4 emails that go out once a season. And so you don't touch those because the company will just have that go on from year to year to year. If you unsync something from the company, then, next year the updates won't, the dates will all be changed and you don't have those new emails going in. So see this one, I changed the title and it stayed synced. So that is a great way to just tell the difference between this is the campaign that I'm not touching, that the company's, taking charge of. And then, this one is the one that I have personalized and it's not synced anymore.
So it's 11:18. Any final questions for Natalie?
Hey, Natalie, it's Tom McDonald. I've got a somewhat off-topic question. That's why I purposely waited to the end. Are you okay with me asking it?
Yes.
Okay, I appreciate it. So at some point in a previous seminar, you touched on how to send a new listing announcement manually without actually setting up a new list, subscribing somebody to that campaign. Can you quickly, or it may have been Kate that did that, but I know it was gone over and I tried to use it recently and couldn't quite remember the steps. Could you relatively quickly run through that for us, please?
Yes. So I've never had a listing, but Maggie can correct me if I'm wrong. But if I'm on the dashboard, I believe the My Listings right down here, you can just send it this way. I can't really show you. So did you do that or did you go through your account up at the top?
I went through my account up at the top. So that's exactly, I started from scratch wrong. So that's where I went wrong. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah,
there you go. Thank you.
Not a problem. All right. And just to go over really quick, if anyone has any last minute questions, but just that signature that I talked about in the beginning, because you all definitely want your signature in these emails. If you click your face up at the top and you click my account, then if I go over to my brand, it will, under, templates, it gives you the left aligned, right aligned, or center. Just click one of those. And then, you will have your signature right here.
So it shows you what it looks like on both a device like a computer or a tablet and the mobile. So because I like the way it looks better on the mobile, centered is what I choose. I know Nita likes left. I usually choose left, but I don't like it on the mobile device. So because the face is centered, but the text is left. It doesn't make sense to me. So you choose which one looks best to you. And then try it out. If you don't like it, switch it. But you have to have something. There's also a basic, if you want, where it says templates, there's a drop down. And there, if you click on that, it'll show you basic as well. The template is really nice because it does have your photo.
And in regards to adding your Facebook link, you would just do that group social. And then for the campaign emails, and then, if your Facebook link on your web admin, you would, just put in the link there. But for campaign emails, you just add that button when editing.
All right, it's 11:21. Thanks, guys, for joining us. There's lots of content on YouTube. There's lots and lots of good content right on your dashboard under Engage Resources. And those are nice, quick, short videos on specific topics. So I really like those. I do one thing, I go back and I try it. If I don't, I watch it again and I do it again until I figured it out. And then just take bite-sized pieces. Don't try to learn everything in a day. You can't. You'll be overwhelmed. So have a great day, and we'll see you all again soon.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, ladies.